Hi there, this is John Felix, or the Battlerite ProFiler. Before we get into the actual interview, I just wanted to say thank you for being here. If you're into Battlerite and its esports scene, I think you'll really enjoy this interview. We talked about a lot of interesting things. I plan to make a lot more of these, so if you do like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you leave so that you won't miss when the next one drops. So with that said, I give you Battlerite Profile number 1 with Joltz. Okay, so this here is the first Battlerite profile that I will ever make. The original, with none other than Joltz. Thank you for being here.
Hey, no problem. Glad you asked me.
Yeah.
The first guy, right? This is your first interview.
Yes, yes. You were actually the first name I thought of. If I should do this, I want to start with Joltz. So I'm really glad that you decided to say yes to this.
Oh, you ask it so nicely, so gladly.
I'm glad to hear. Okay, so if someone hadn't heard of you before, if someone finds this video and just don't know who you are, how would you introduce yourself real quick?
Well, I'm a full-time Battlerite streamer. I stream Battlerite only at the highest level, which is qualified for the Battlerite Pro League with my team. And, well, I'm just a player who plays the game and tries to enjoy it, and I think that's how it should be, and then that's how I got into the top. And also the stream works as a way to show people how I do it. And I'm just another player, just like you there. So it's very hard to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
But I think that was decent.
It was good. It was good. I'm also a player, but definitely not at the highest level, though. So that separates us quite a lot. But you started way earlier than Battlerite, right? You started with Bloodline Champions.
Yes, back in the day, it was 2011 when I played the Bloodline Champions, and I wasn't very good at the game. Like, the game was super hard because like everything, hitboxes were much smaller, and the game was much more, I wouldn't say complex, but the mechanics were just 2 times harder than in Battlerite. So it took me a long time to get to the top, and I still don't ever consider myself to be the best player ever, even though we got the incredible 152-0 in ranked Diamond 1 ladder 3 versus 3. But because we abused the broken meta so much, we got there, and that actually got us qualified to DreamHack, and I got to play in DreamHack Summer 2011. In Bloodline Champions, but we won only 1 game, so we came out as losers.
Okay. But so that was 3 versus 3. Are there any of your old teammates from Bloodline Champions who are playing in Battlerite today?
Not that I know of. They tried the game, but they didn't stick with them, so they just moved to another game.
Okay, because from what you see, there are quite a lot of Bloodline Champions players in Battlerite now. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like Clerney is one I know of who was in Bloodline Champions before. I think Verosk played Bloodline Champions back in the day as well. But I never played Bloodline Champions and didn't really know about the game back then, so I don't really know. But what would you say, how much of an upper hand would you say that you old BLC veterans have compared to players who are new to Battlerite?
Well, since this game is since you move with the WASD WASD movement and you aim with your mouse, it's a bit different than League of Legends and Dota games, right? So we already got the upper hand, and we were able to integrate all this movement into our muscle memory from Bloodline Champions. So what I noticed when I came to play Battlerite for the first time, I was a bit lost. I was like, how do I move? And I haven't played this kind of a game for years. But it took me like a couple hours, and my fingers just started doing their own magic because it's still in my muscle memory how to play the game. So I would say it gave us quite a good advantage at that point.
So it's like riding a bike.
It's like riding a bike, indeed.
And the new players are like 5-year-olds who are with their training wheels.
Yeah. But right now at the top level, there is quite many new players who hasn't played Bloodline Champions. Kind of scary.
Do you think they're doing things differently than you old BLC champs?
No, I don't think so. Maybe they have just found the proper play style, and they have copied us top players. For example, I've been streaming Battlerite for 1 year and 6 months now, even a bit longer. And I've always had this viewer called Wake 57, right? You probably know him.
Yeah.
And he wasn't very good. Like he was kind of a trash player. But now he started to pull off wins in tournaments, and he's in my opinion, in the best team of EU.
Yeah, he's on Impact, right?
Yeah, he's in Impact, right? And he hasn't played Bloodline Champions at all, which makes him a scary player, absolutely. So it's amazing. It's fun to see the youngsters evolve.
Yeah, I think for me that's really enjoyable with such a new title overall, with such a new competitive scene, that we see a lot new players, a lot new teams. The teams, I mean, players switch up. You see this player playing with that player all of a sudden, and a lot of new stuff is going on.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's amazing. It's cool, and well, it's a video game, right?
Yeah.
But still, it's still very cool.
Yeah. About video games, I've been watching your stream quite a lot, and I've heard a lot of Final Fantasy VII music when you play your games. That's a really old game.
It is, absolutely.
Did you play it back when it was new?
I did.
Kinda?
I did. Yeah, I did. My father had a PS1, and he had the full Final Fantasy VII PS1 game with all the discs. But I never got past the first reactor, because every time I saw the timer going down, the 5 minutes, my 7-year-old brain just panicked. It just didn't work anymore. It never made it in time. And if I made it in time, I didn't know how to save in the game, so
yeah.
it was unfortunate. But yes, I played Final Fantasy when I was a kid. Even though I wasn't very good, the soundtrack, the fucking battle, just got stuck in my head. It's amazing. Amazing game.
Yeah, but we who are a bit older than people who start playing games nowadays, I feel like we learn how to play games the hard way.
Yeah, we do, absolutely. The games in 90s, PS1 games, Crash Bandicoot, for example, a platformer game, like they were incredibly hard, especially we were young, 10-year-olds. Of course, our motorical skills haven't evolved to a good spot yet. Well, evolved is a wrong word for it, but I think we got the hard way compared to nowadays single-player games. They're pretty much just walk forward, do X stuff, while we had to go over 10 obstacles to be able to get there.
I also saw a Dark Souls icon on your Discord.
Yes.
Are you stuck in the Dark Souls grind as well?
Yeah, it's a very good game. I started playing the Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition when it came out on PC. Of course, the port was very horrible, but ever then, I play Dark Souls games, and they are very close to my heart. I think the soundtrack is great, the atmosphere. Like, they are just overall very good games, and they also have the PvP mechanic there, which is like very nice.
Okay, so gaming has been a part of your life for a very long time now.
Absolutely, it has also been a form of escapism, but I think it's completely fine. Games are supposed to be played also that way, to get your mind off real world stuff and just like play the game. Yes, all my childhood I've been playing video games.
Sounds like a good childhood, at least that part of it. Okay, but let's get back into Battlerite, because you've been around for quite some time. You've been on quite a few teams. I know you've been on Bruce Lee, Intolerant, and then came Ailamau Kek.
Yep.
Right? That turned into Gatekeepers, that you call yourself now.
Yeah. That's how it was.
Have I missed any team there?
No, you haven't actually. I think that's very accurate. 4 teams total I've been in.
If we count both Ailamau Kek and Gatekeepers as 2 teams, right? Okay.
Yeah. Ailamau Kek had a blank, different player than Rufa.
Yeah.
I was playing DPS.
I wanted to talk about that as well, because that's another thing that you've changed is like your role, because you used to be an ESMO player first, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Played range. I played at the start of the year when I started to get into the competitive scene, and we started winning. I was playing Esmo because I enjoyed the hero, the like insane burst. Just punishing with Esmo was overall so easy, and I loved him. I loved him. So I played Esmo for, I would say, like from January to June, only Esmo in tournaments. Of course, in a couple tournaments I switched to melee just for fun, you know, to switch it up. But we won basically pretty much every tournament during that time, and it was great. It was fun, but winning a lot of tournaments also can get a bit of boring because it feels like there's no competition, and you secretly want in your mind that someone beats, so you can get the spark again. Like, yes, I want to win. But also at the same time, I got very bored of Esmo, since playing him for a half a year, a bit longer, it's not healthy for your brain, especially in a game like this where rounds and games are somewhat pretty similar every single game. So it feels like you're running around in a circle. So I started switching up. At the summer, I had like a month or 2 month break from the game. I didn't want to look at it. I was so burned out of just like playing Esmo. I switched to melee because it was a completely different play style, and just how the team functions. I think it revolves around the melee players. So that thought already inspired me to get really good in melee. I think I've only won one tournament with my melee, but hey, at least won that, and it was NA tournament. It was against our versus team. Back in the day.
I saw that. That was actually really cool.
It was a very hard game.
Yeah, I actually watched that game from a versus stream, so I heard their comms, and it was really fun to listen. They were like, "Holy fuck, they're beating us with all this ping." They were because they were like you. Like they were so used to winning, you know.
Yeah,
they're winning everything over in NA. Then comes an EU team playing with high ping, and they're just what?
It has to be very demoralizing. I think Stroh got kicked off the team after that, or he left. I don't know, but yes, I can also say that at the moment you start losing or you lose a tournament, even though you won everything, you kind of like also you become demoralized. At the same time, you're secretly happy. I can understand what others felt there. It would be even worse if someone beats me on NA ping on EU. I would probably cry in a corner and never touch the game again.
Yeah. Let's hope that doesn't happen then.
Yeah, let's hope.
But now you're playing. Now you're not playing melee. Now you're playing support on Gatekeepers, right?
Yeah. I wanted to play support for a long time because I've never experienced the role for the whole year what I played. I think it was around 2017 December when I started to think, oh, maybe I want to play support. I want to try support or go. But at the time I had Nee as my teammate, and it felt like we didn't find a proper third teammate for us.
Right.
So we disbanded. We disbanded the team. It was a very unfortunate moment, sad moment. We have played almost a year together, so you kind of form a bond, even though it's an internet. But still, I still consider him as my friend to this day. But after that, Intolerant broke up. I went to the Almalake, where Blanks was supporting Hot Biscuit as range DPS, and I was playing melee. We played a couple of tournaments, but then the tournament scene kind of like died down on EU. There wasn't really any tournaments going on. So Blanks quit the game, and I was like, this is my moment. Now I can try to play support. So I contacted Hot Biscuit. I was like, do you want to form a team? I will support and we get a good melee. And he was like, well, we can give it a try. So
okay.
I was like, okay, let's go. So we got through fast as melee DPS, and I was able to play support, and I enjoyed it so much because the playstyle is completely different.
Yeah.
I need to keep a track of my teammates' cooldowns and opponents' cooldowns. Of course, it's not possible to keep track of everyone's cooldowns because that requires some immense focus.
Yeah.
But as long as you're able to keep your teammates' cooldowns in check, I think that's pretty good for a support player. And it definitely allows me to enjoy the game much more. So you learn.
Yeah.
Learning is enjoying. So that's pretty much the story of all my roles.
Yeah. So what made you go for Rutha then?
Rutha.
Yeah.
At the start, we wanted to pick Bevs, the Reagan player. I don't know if you heard about him. Bevs.
No, I don't think I have.
BEWZ.
He don't play much competitively.
No, he doesn't. But his team actually qualified for BPL this time. He plays the melee there. His playstyle is like very aggressive and.
What's the name of the team that he's on? Do you remember that?
We Them Boys.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, then I have seen him. All right.
Yeah. So he's like a very aggressive melee player, and I wanted him because of his Reagan plays. There's not many top Reagan players in EU at the moment. Wanted him to get into the team. Unfortunately, he said, "I'm not gonna play until season 1," but he still played the game anyway. So I was just like looking him in the solo queue. I was like, "Why didn't you come into our team?" So we didn't have pretty much any options left, and I don't mean to sound rude to Rutha, but Rutha is a very good player. Like his Bakko is definitely, I would say, the best in the game. It's very solid, very solid. So I told Hot Biscuit, Rutha is free. Maybe we should get him, and he was like, okay, let's get him. So I just asked Rutha, hey, want to come into our team? It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna support. And he was like, oi, 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 oi. And he joined. He actually joined. It was great. And that's how we got Rutha into our team. Kind of like the second option, but still, I'm very happy that he came into our team because we are pretty successful as a team.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say you said that Impact is the top EU team. After watching the BPL qualifiers, I don't know who I put on top over Gatekeepers and Impact right now.
Yeah.
I think you are the two standout teams. And then we have a lot of other teams that we need to see more from.
There's upsets. The upsets can happen easily. Yeah. There was upsets going on in the first qualifier. The Impact lost and Gatekeepers got knocked down in losers. It was just like, but that all the losses and everything what happened in the BPL, it all comes down to the meta. Because right now the game's meta is a bit strange. Everyone is playing Ulrich and it's very chaotic, right? So it allows these lesser players, I feel like, just come out on top of good players just by like, I would say maybe getting a bit lucky, but of course it's luck. Luck is an RNG element in every single game. This game has some luck too. Getting the stun at the right time, and if you stun enemy at the right time, let's say you stun Rook at the right time when Rook is charging, he won't charge, but he's charged with a cooldown. So that's like the luck factor in my opinion. Yeah. But I would say that after this patch, when Ulrich and Xander might get nerfed, they won't be seen as much anymore. The game will be more balanced at high level. So I don't think there will be teams that much will have a difference in skill anymore, because it enables these players who doesn't have Xander or Ulrich in their hero pool to come out of and fight against the big titans, you know, Impact, Gatekeepers. I would say also the French team, Biosun, it's a very good team. Joikas being the pearl player of the team, the backbone. He's a very good player.
Do you have any prediction of what any champion that you feel could come into the meta if Ulrich and Xander get nerfed? Is there any support player you're looking forward to coming back?
I would. I think Pearl will be in a good spot. Impact will be starting to play Lucy. I feel like they will be starting to play Lucy because Lucy's ultimate is very good. After someone has no escapes, just throw the goo on them and laugh. I want to play Pestilus myself, but I don't know if he will be good. Sirius teams will be coming back. But yes. The Whedon Boys team. Loreo is in the team playing support. He can play Lucy and Blossom at very high level. I think their team will be pretty good in the next meta. Also, Game On Mini's team. Mini can play many other supports. I'm gonna be afraid to see his Holoma because Poloma will be very annoying to play against. So I feel like it's from this stage, it's gonna settle down to the middle and just balance there. And there will be upsets going on. There will be teams breaking after this tournament, but that's the sense of competition, nature of competition.
I actually thought that since Ulrich is a melee support, and we've only had one melee support before, and that's Sirius. We haven't seen him in a long time. I thought that maybe Sirius would come into the meta a bit more, since the other team is also playing melee support. But I guess the fact that you can mirror match makes that unnecessary to go for a weaker version of the melee support.
Yeah, indeed. Like, Sirius has some very good traits what Ulrich does not have. Sirius has AoE Petrify and Weaken Mechanic, and a very strong ultimate what is healing teammates for 100 and dealing damage for 100 in straight line. It's a very good hero, like, overall. But it's just Ulrich is better. So why would you play Sirius in that case?
Yeah.
Just handicap yourself.
Would you like to see more melee supports coming into the game overall?
Yes, I would, but right now Ulrich is just making it too chaotic. So if Sunlock Studios finds a way to prevent that, to make the game chaotic with the melee supports, yes, absolutely. But if the next melee supports are gonna be like Ulrich, no.
Okay. One thing I've enjoyed watching, like, top level Ulrichs in the BPL qualifiers is to see a support who has to focus so much on the engage part of the game.
Yes. It's that's very true. Ulrich players, good Ulrich players, they cycle the favor, the buff all the time on their teammates, and they are able to space around and punish enemies with the stun most one and heal at the same time. Like, but it's so very hard to distinguish a good Ulrich between a bad Ulrich in this case, because every Ulrich, I would say, at Grand Champion level right now knows how to use the favor buff. And that's how the character works. It revolves around the favor buff only. So if you're able to cycle that properly, you're able to play aggressive and defensive at the same time. It's like, it's such a perfect hero, to be honest.
Okay. I'll try and get good on Ulrich then. I want to go back to your current team, because I read in an old Battlecrank interview that you did that you left Bruce Lee because you felt the atmosphere there was a bit too serious and you wanted to be able to have more fun. And Intolerant, you guys picked, like, you didn't want to control yourselves and just be slaves to the meta, basically, and pick what you think is fun.
Yes.
So I'm curious now, you're in the BPL, you're in a top EU team, you're fighting for a lot of money. How would you say that the atmosphere in Gatekeepers is, your current team?
Our atmosphere is good. It's very balanced. We have Hot Biscuit, who's like he's very stoic and he's very serious, and me and Ruth, we are a bit like laid back, chill boys. So it kind of balances it perfectly. And sometimes of course we have issues too, like being a bit too serious, but like we are very forgiving to each other. So overall our team is in a very good mental health state, and that's very important. We all enjoy the game. We are all very competitive, but we remember to have fun at the same time. That's the best.
So is
didn't have that in Pro League.
Yeah. Is Hot Biscuit kind of like the captain, like the serious guy?
He's the captain, like captain of the team, but we are just, I would say that we work together, all of us, that we don't really have a captain who decides that we are going to play this, but we just like think everything together and what we do. Because many other opinions at high level is better than one opinion only.
Another thing I want to ask about Hot Biscuit is he is not playing Ashka anymore.
He plays Ashka still. We have a couple Ashka comps where he plays Ashka.
Okay.
But Esmo is just still such a good hero at the moment, especially his ultimate. You're able to get the middle orb all the time with his ultimate when timed properly. And with Ashka that is not possible. There's a reason why Esmo's played more than Ashka right now. Esmo is much better.
Yeah.
So, but Ashka still has some spots in the comps, and we will be playing Ashka too in the PB.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, because Hot Biscuit is kind of like the most positive version of a one trick in my mind.
Yes.
That you could think of. Like meta shmeta, whatever it is, if he brings out Ashka, he can do great things.
Yes, absolutely.
What would you say separates him from other people who play Ashka? Because you must have seen a lot of other good Ashka players.
Yes.
In your day.
I would say that the difference is in aim, most one aim, throwing fireballs. Ashka deals a lot of damage with those fireballs if they get hit. But the main difference is Hot Biscuit's the fireball, the E ability usage, the knockback. He doesn't really try to knock enemies back, but he actually moves backwards, and he uses it to avoid damage instead of some Ashkas use it to deal damage. They try to push enemy into a corner and then try to deal damage into them that way. But that again is bad for Ashka, because Ashka has 2 escapes, and that means you already use 1 escape to try to deal damage instead of avoiding damage. So I think that's the deciding factor there.
Okay. There's just one more player I would like to mention real quick before we move away from your roster, and that is Rosar, who subbed in for you when you guys qualified for the BPL. Was that a temporary thing, or do you guys have a 4-man roster now with Rosar?
It was a temporary thing. Hot Biscuit warned Rosa. I told Hot Biscuit and Rotha, I don't feel like playing the tournament today because my friends are coming to the town from other countries, and it would be very nice to meet them. And Hot Biscuit was like, we gotta play it anyways. Like, I can't stand for this if we don't play it. Rotha was like, I don't care. I will just play the winners, and if we go to losers, we're just gonna disqualify because I don't care. So Ruth and me was like, we don't care, and Hot Biscuit wanted to play so badly. Even though we would have qualified another day, I was so positive about it. But Hot Biscuit insisted on playing, so he tried to get a support player. We asked many players, and no one wanted to sub. So then he goes to Rosar, and Rosar is like, okay. And Hot Biscuit warned him that you cannot play in the next qualifiers, and you won't be playing in the BPL. And Rosar was just like, okay, that's completely fine. I don't have a team anyway. And then he played Ulrich, and I actually watched the tournament
with your friends.
Yeah. I was drunk, and I was just watching Rosar play, and he made a couple of mistakes where I wouldn't do myself. I was like, "What are you doing? Stop!"
Tag me in.
Like, yeah, indeed. But he's still a very good player, and it's very nice to see a player who's played mostly solo queue to be able to pull a finals win in a tournament with a good team. Yeah. So that shows that when Rosar gets a real good team himself, he will be able to come out of the top. He has the potential to do it. He just needs good players in his team.
Do you think you'll see him as an opponent rather than anytime soon?
I could say so. Say so. Yeah, he has the potential, but it's still gonna take time until he's gonna face me.
All right, so we're looking forward to that, to see Rosar, the old sub, meet his master Joltz.
Yep.
Okay, so if you do watch a Joltz stream lately, something that you've seen other than Battlerite, we've seen you play the piano.
Piano boy, absolutely.
Yeah. Is that a new hobby, or has there always been like a musical interest in your life?
Absolutely no. I hated anything related to music theory or classical music up until I was 23 years old. Yeah. And I've never had any interest in playing any instrument. And just suddenly listening to Kingdom Hearts Dearly Beloved, I thought to myself, I want to play that on piano. So I got a piano and I started practicing it. And this happened 1 year ago. So, and I learned it that I wanted to learn more and more and more and more and more. Here we are, been playing piano for one year, and I don't regret it a single moment. It's the greatest thing what has ever happened in my life. Learning an instrument is the greatest thing what you can do to yourself. Being able to play music to other people it's very nice to see their smile.
I agree. I'm a music teacher, so I'm really happy. Follow Jolt's advice, learn an instrument.
It's very great. It's very great. You don't need to be the best. It doesn't matter. Just play for yourself.
Yeah. I have a piano at home. I'm definitely not a piano player, but it feels nice just to play. Talking more about your stream, you're definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest Battlerite streamer on Twitch right now.
Probably I am.
Yeah,
since
I think
others hasn't really streamed much lately. But I would say me and others are at the same numbers now. So he's streaming on NA times, I stream on EU time.
So you share the audience. You split the market.
Yeah, pretty much. Perfect. Yin yang.
Yeah. What could other top-level players in Battlerite learn from you if they want to grow an audience on Twitch? Because there, like we said, there aren't a lot of big streamers in Battlerite.
Yeah. That's actually a very hard question, because I've been trying to ask my viewers, like, why do you guys watch me? And the answer, what they say is that it's because of like my personality and because I'm talking to them, you know, I'm just like a player like them, you know. It's such a very hard question. I don't know. Of course, I've been streaming Battlerite for a very long time, and I would call it a grind to get like viewers. It's something that doesn't really happen overnight. To gain a decent viewer base, and of course, I'm still surprised that there's so many people watching me, considering how I can act. But like suddenly I can like flame up very easily. I get like super angry at some point that just ban people and like. But I guess that's my personality, and I guess that's what many people love about like. And I'm sorry to all of you who has been banned from my chat. If you type something a bit silly what I haven't liked, I'm sorry. I will unban you. Just message me on Twitch.
Okay, that's good to know. People can come back.
Are you banned?
I'm not banned, no. Not yet.
Okay, that's good.
I've been careful.
I don't mean any harm.
No. Is that what you're thinking? Are you trying to turn streaming and Battlerite into a full-time career?
It actually is right now, to me. I can actually do it and pay my rent and pay my bills and buy food with the money. So I'm very happy. Of course, I've been working towards this, but still, like when it happened, I realized, oh no, I can actually live off from playing Battlerite. It felt really good. It turned the hobby, what I liked, into a profession.
Yeah.
So very great.
Congratulations on that then. That's good job.
It's like the dream job.
Yeah.
Play video games and get paid.
That's great.
Now it's gotta win the LAN.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the finishing point of this interview. I just want to look a little bit forward to BPL, since it's the big thing coming up right now. We've talked a little bit about it already. How competitive do you think the league will be? Like, I said I think that you and Impact are like the top two teams. You said you think Impact is the best team, but there are a lot of other teams in this league. How hard do you think it'll be?
It's not gonna be easy. This whole group stage it's extremely stacked. There's so many good teams in there. I think every single team that are in BPL EU at the moment can come out of top, and it's very volatile. It's nitroglycerin gonna explode, and if everything goes as I think will go, it will be Impact or Gatekeepers first or second, and the third team either gonna be Biosyn or Functional Sociopaths, and the rest is gonna be a question mark, but I'm gonna knock the wood just in case, because anything can happen. Yeah. Anything can happen.
Was there any team that surprised you coming out of the qualifier?
It was the B Biceps team. I forgot their name. Oh no, it was Pulse Drunks. Yeah. Their team, they came out, and it was actually a very impressive play from them. They played very good together, and it surprised me. It's gonna be fun to see new blood in the tournament scene in the.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were surprised by Biosyn, the French team.
Yes, they won the first, and we just before the tournament, we beat them in scrims constantly. We destroyed them 5-0, 5-1. Just play Sander against their team. They're nothing against it.
Okay, that's a good tip. Is that what you would have done if you would have been there instead of Rosar?
Yes, and if we faced Biosin, I would have just played Sander against them. They would have been sheeped all day long.
Is it because they picked the Pearl specifically, or is it because they just
because
can't handle that?
Yeah, because they played Pearl, it's very easy to punish Pearl by sheeping her, putting the sheep under her.
Mm-hmm.
If she spaces it, she uses her only escape to dodge the sheep. Or if she doesn't, she's sheeped and we get free damage on her. So it's like win-win. No matter what happens to Pearl after a sheep, it's going to be good for our team. So basically win the game against Biosun is by controlling the Pearl, because he's the backbone of the team. So much done.
How big is it for you as an EU player that the LAN final is an international event? That you get to play the North American teams, the South American teams, the Korean teams, all that?
I think it's very cool. It's going to be very fun to see, because there's been like a lot of talk going on that NA is better than EU or EU is better than NA, and no one knows about South America, anything. It's completely question mark how Korea and South America will play, and it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Of course, it feels a bit sad that the first LAN is like very international. Only 2 teams from EU or each continent can go there. But since we all been waiting LAN for such a long time. But hey, now is the time to actually play the game and be very good at it. So to get to the LAN and play against the other continents is going to be so much fun. Even if I don't personally qualify myself, still going to be very interesting to watch how NA-EU is finally going to go.
Everyone wants to make that fight happen in whatever game it is. They want the NA-EU thing. And like we said before, you are one of the few players who have played versus NA and beat them because EU is better.
Don't say that.
I didn't. You did. You beat them. No, but seriously, would you say there is a difference like that you can see between North American and European Battlerite?
It's very hard to distinguish. When I played against the NA players in the tournaments, I think their playstyle is a bit different. It's very hard to grasp what it is, but it's maybe their movement and ability usage. They just play a bit differently than EU. So it's going to be very fun to see how it actually goes against. Because there's still playstyles how teams play.
Do you see any difference in champion pools? Like some picks that are very NA, some champions that are very EU favored?
Well, back in the day when Sander got released, NA didn't believe that Sander was. They were like, he is completely garbage hero. They're not going to play him. So they stick with the Sirius plays, and they played Sirius mostly. I think Blossom Sirius. So suddenly when EU started winning with Sander, our tournaments was filled with Sander. Every team was Sander. Suddenly NA started playing Sander too. And then they said he's actually a broken hero. It's actually absolutely broken. But their playstyle, since Overconfident has been dominating the sea for a very long time in NA, their playstyle has been always been very aggressive, push in and punish the enemy when they make a mistake. Ultimate aggro play with the Sirius. So there's the difference. EU is sort of a defensive player style, while NA is just like go on, kill them, fast, aggressive playstyle. So it's going to be very fun to see. It's going to be very fun.
Is there like a dream out of that playstyle perspective? Is there a dream matchup between an EU and NA team that you would like want to see or play?
Well, back in the day, I no longer am thinking like this, but back in the day when the Poloma Vares was a very big meta, Poloma Vares Pakko, EU was playing a lot of that company. It was very defensive, and at that time, North America was playing Shifu, Sirius, and Haya at the time, Overconfident. I've always wanted to see those comps go together. The overly defensive comp versus the overly aggressive comp. That was my dream. I don't know if it's gonna happen now. It's probably actually I don't know what will happen in the LAN because of the patch coming between this time and the LAN. what kind of a meta it will be. I don't know.
Something
I don't know.
to look
Maybe
forward to.
this is serious again on it.
Yeah. We'll see. What do you think this investment that the BPL will mean for the future of Battlerite? Because this is a big step. When we talk about money, there's a lot more money. There are a lot more regions involved. There is the LAN finals. I mean,
I think it will be good advertisement. It will be very good advertisement for like Battlerite overall and the esports scene. Because like many players nowadays, they want to play a video game with esports because they want to have the possibility of being there. Even if like they realistically won't make it, but they still have the small idea that if I get really good, I will be able to play on the stage. You know, it's many players dream to play in a big LAN tournament at least once in their life. So I think it can definitely bring new players, because I get daily asked on my stream chat, hey Joltz, is the game dead? Is the esports scene dead? Is there any tournaments going on? This blah 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 blah, you know. So I think it's going to be very good when the League players or Dota players or World of Warcraft players see the Battlerite LAN happening, Battlerite tournament happening. They might actually try to hop into the game and try it out themselves. Yeah. And it will also maybe attract new sponsors coming into the scene. Who knows?
Do you think we'll see traditional like esport organizations pick up Battlerite rosters now that there are LAN events on DreamHack and stuff like that?
Absolutely, there will be, because they want visibility, right? So absolutely, I think during this BPL group stage, people will start to pick up teams, join teams. Yeah.
Okay, that would be really interesting and really cool to see an infrastructure grow. I think I've talked to you a bit longer than I said I would. A lot of interesting topics were touched on. Is there anything you want to say before we shut things down here?
Follow me at www.twitch.tv/Joltz. Subscribe today. It's almost free. If you have Twitch Prime, subscribe with that. You can almost do it for free too. That's pretty much it. Don't use adblock on my streams. I'm paying my bills with my stream, okay? Thank you. That's all you get.
Anywhere else people can find you other than Twitch?
You find me on Twitter. It's at Joltz BLC. The same with YouTube, Joltz BLC. That's where you can find me.
All right.
Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube.
Great. Well, then I say thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. And to anybody who watched the video, thank you as well. And I'll be back with more Battlerite content.